All right. Good morning, everybody. Can you let me know whether or not my microphone is coming through strongly enough for everybody to hear me well? My day's going pretty well so far. Dylan, I woke up, had a nice breakfast, spent a little bit of time outside with the dog, got the kids going on virtual school, but overall, I'm doing all right. So, how is my voice coming through? Can somebody please confirm whether or not we're good or whether or not I sound terrible right now? All right, good. I just didn't want to completely dive in too deeply without making sure. Okay, so welcome to week 2. Glad to see you here. It seems like most people have made it. Overall, I'm pleased that everybody continues to push through on the distance learning thing. It doesn't seem like we're going back anytime this week or next week. So, I'm hoping that everybody can still find that gear to keep pushing through, to keep working through the materials. And most importantly, is to recognize that all of the feelings that you're going through right now, be they good, bad, be they happy, they sad, they're all perfectly legitimate. What you're experiencing in going through school and going through life in a pandemic is a traumatic experience. And so, I think that being patient with yourself, recognizing that it's okay to feel the way you feel, and to recognize that there are people here to help you deal with and process the good and the tough feelings that you might be having right now. And in fact, it's probably better not even to think of feelings in terms of good and bad. So, overall, I think that what's important right now is that we just focus on what we can handle right now. So, as you know, the way that I have designed my class, I'm really not a stickler on attendance. Attendance is mandatory. I'm not a stickler on due dates. What instead I want to focus on is trying to find opportunities for all of you to continue to grow as students. And so I'm looking for lots of opportunities to give you good feedback. I'm looking for lots of opportunities for you to retry things if they don't go so well the first time. So be patient with yourself and work through it. So we all wish we were in school. Nobody here signed up for virtual learning. And in fact, we avoided virtual learning. So instead, what I'd like us to focus on is just trying to get through what we can get through and to understand that there's very little in this course that is worth degrading your mental health over. And so while I need you to complete work and I need you to show me that you're putting time in and so on, that's for purposes to make sure that I can assure you that you're going to get an English credit so that you can move on when hopefully things are a little bit more normal in September. But in the meantime, you need to advocate and tell me whether or not, things are working or not working and things are good or not so good. Okay. And you have lots of adults in this room right now who are available to help you, right? So some of you have been working with Miss Bernie, the prep coverage teacher. Her contact information is pinned in EDSB. And she is, of course, continues to be available to help you if you need. Jen LaRock is here. She is our EA assigned to this group. She will absolutely help you as well if you reach out to her. Miss Beal is available in the resource room throughout the day. Again, you can make an appointment with her. If you've ever worked with Mr. Ubel, he's available as well as the student success teacher. And we got another great person added to the class. You may have seen the name appear in the chat, and hopefully when she hears my voice say this, she'll say hello. Her name is Mackenzie Hornby. She's a senior student in Clarington Central, and she's been assigned to us as a peer tutor. And so if you're feeling more comfortable working with somebody who is closer to your age and might be somebody who you can be a little bit more sort of frank and open with in terms of pulling through the work, she is available. You can just send her a message on EDSB, or you can ask me to connect the two of you, and I'm absolutely willing to do that. Okay, obviously, if it's sort of bigger picture stuff around like marks and attendance and stuff like that, and Mackenzie doesn't have a teaching license, so I get to do the heavy, weighty stuff. But if you're stuck on a question or you're just struggling with those things that teenagers go through in terms of, oh, Dylan, I will show you in a second, okay? Um, when it comes to dealing with those things about being a high schooler and dealing with the sort of ins and outs of processing work and submitting things in Google Classroom and all that sort of stuff, Mackenzie absolutely will give you a hand. Okay, so Mackenzie's around, and please take advantage of that. Okay. So Dylan asked a good question about how to get to the resource room. So before I get into the classwork, let me show you where to find that link. Okay. So if I hop over here to the classroom, okay, I'm actually going to grab it off the other class because I think I may have pinned it over here, but not over here. Okay, here we go. So let me grab this. Okay, so if we go over into our classroom here, and I do this, of course it's going to lag a little bit because my computer doesn't quite enjoy streaming too much. Well, of course it didn't work. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Copy all that. Go over to the Google Classroom. Okay. Why is it not grabbing the link? Of course it's going to make me look foolish. Okay. Copy link address. Okay. So, over in the Google Classroom, in the EDSB Classroom. All right, there's going to be this link over here on the side. Right over here. It says, hi everyone, if you're looking for assistance from the resource room, Miss Beal is available between 9 and 2 at the following Google Meet. And so you just click on that, and you should join it instantly. Okay? And Miss Beal obviously is the resource room teacher, and she will be there to help you anytime. Good morning, Brady. Nice to see you. So Miss Beal is available to help you out with whatever assignments are there. Obviously, you can also book a one-on-one appointment with me if you wish. Okay. So just before I get into anything else, Hunter, Aiden, and Xavier, if you're out there in the chat, please type your say hi or something into the chat, or send me a note on EDSB just to confirm your attendance this morning, please. I have yet to hear from you. Okay. All right. So when we go into the classroom and we click on the classwork, okay. So any of the work that was unfinished at the end of last week, the character sketch and the textbook poster, they're both right here still listed in yesterday's work. I know it's not technically yesterday, it's like last week's work, but this was the last day that we were together. Okay. Your audiobook novel, Crab, we're up to journal number 5 now. Okay. Again, if you're looking for the book itself, it is up here at the top. The audiobook and the novel are there. So please make sure you're getting through journal number 5 today. Okay, just give it 1 second, and it's just a little laggy this morning. It's being very laggy this morning. All right, hold on. There we go. Okay, so journal number 5, right? So you, again, the idea here is that you're trying to answer more than one question. 1 is the minimum ask. The hope is that you try to do 2. All the better if you can do all 3. So after you've listened and read to journal number 5, you have your questions. What does the way Crab has packed for his escape and his experience trying to get the canoe in the water tell us about his experience may hold for him? Meaning, what can you infer? We've been talking about inference a lot, right? What can you infer from his packing and his skills with the canoe? Number 2, what do you think Crab means when he says that in the morning he was missing the churning in my stomach that told me my nerves were getting ready for another day. Again, an inference question. Question number 3. Once Crab is 2 miles from civilization on the river, that means from the city, he says he is officially free. Do you have a place where you go where you feel the same way, free of problems of everyday life? Obviously, it doesn't have to be 2 miles away. Just where do you go to escape things? And then you have 2 words to look up the definitions for. Again, just typing the definitions or copying the definitions into a comment is fine. So for answering these, you can either attach a Google document or type your answer into the comment section and then make sure to hit turn it in. Okay? We have a short reading exercise called Polar Ice. So it says, read the text, answer the questions in either an attached document or post in the comment section. My Chrome is being very slow today. Okay, so you've got your Polar Ice section, right, where you read the top part right here, and then you have these questions down here, right? So what is another name for pack ice? Where are the most icebergs found? Full sentence answer. What fraction of an iceberg is below the waterline? How many of the glaciers of the Antarctic region end up as? Or many of the glaciers of the Antarctic region end up as? And then select the correct fact to complete this sentence. Ships called icebreakers are used to. And by late summer, all Antarctic ice has melted. True or false? So a short little reading comprehension and then task. Okay? So give that a try. Then we have another media study. You guys seem to like these, so I've added another one. You have a short 9-minute film that some people have seen. I think it was in the front of Incredibles 2 or something like that. Again, an award-winning short film. And you have 4 questions. This film won an award for Best Animated Short in their year. Why do you think so? Why do you think people enjoy films where food comes to life? This seems to be a style or trope that always comes up. What was your favorite part of the film? Even if you didn't like it, what did you like the most, or what did you hate the least, I guess? And then who do you think the main audience was for this film? Age group. Okay, so 4 questions after watching a short film. And then we've got our ISU part 1 that people started work on the other day. Okay, so let's just go through this again. This is due this week. Okay, so I'm hoping that it will load here. There we go. Okay, so for this assignment, you will get the chance to plan the vacation of your dreams. You have $3,000. I said you could go up to $5,000 if you would just make sure you label it. To spend on a minimum of a 3-day vacation. The price is for you alone. You can choose any place you would like. You must plan and research your vacation to include all of the wonderful things you'll be doing, the places you'll be staying, and the food you will be eating. Okay? So you have a research sheet and a brochure. Okay? So here's the research sheet. Okay, accommodations, where am I sleeping, number of nights I'll be staying there, cost per night, and so on. Transportation continued, meals, and attractions. Okay? So once you have filled out all of this, you do have this brochure to make. Okay? We are going to do a lesson on Canva later this week. Okay? So this will be more of a Wednesday thing. So you can spend some time and make sure that everything is totally set up properly. But if you want to take a look at or start working on your brochure in your own way, Canva is not a required software to use. You can make it on paper. You can use the old colored pencils or whatever you want, however you want to do it. But just know that I will be teaching a lesson on a software tool later this week. So those are your asks for today. Obviously, anything down at the bottom here is the older work from last week that you may or may not have finished, depending on where you're at. Feel free to submit any of that as well. I've been trying to go through and marking things as they come. Okay? Okay, so, all right, I see that. Oh, Aiden, good morning. Nice to see you. Don't forget to log in with your actual KPR account next time, okay? Um, so part one, it's just part one that's due. So that is the at the by the end of the week, which is the plan, like the money plan and the brochure. There's another aspect to it that will be coming in the next for the next 2 weeks that we're together. Okay. So the expectation is that we have a brochure done, maybe just at least a rough copy of the brochure done this week. Okay. So that is the list of all the asks right now. Do anybody have any questions before I do one last thing before I let you go? Okay. So seeing none, I will make sure to come back. So if you have any questions that pop up, please put it in the chat before I go. Okay. I did want to share with you one thing. The one thing that we are trying to start doing again in Clarington Central is we are trying to bring sort of the morning announcements back. We are trying to bring, as much normalcy and idea back to this as possible. And so I just wanted to quickly run through and mention a couple of things that are coming from the principal and the vice principal. So the one thing that we are wanting to do for sure is our land acknowledgement. So, for example, the school itself and many of your homes exist on traditional territories of the First Peoples of Canada, and so this land acknowledgement is to respect that fact. So Clarington Central Intermediate and Secondary School respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather and learn daily is the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabeg. We are grateful for our relationship with the First Nations of this territory, for their care for and teachings about the land, the water, and all our relations. As people of the Williams Treaty, we continue our journey to strengthen our understanding of our treaty relationships and how we move forward together in a good way. So it's important that we do this every day. It's important to recognize that we all have a role in maintaining the land and also maintaining the treaty relationships that exist between the First Nations people and ourselves. Okay? There is also O Canada available to you there if you would like to listen to it. I'm not going to make us do it all together. Okay? And so it is Mental Health Week. So as part of that, we're sort of going to explore and think about some of the ways that we can continue to engage and think about what it is to be okay with how we're feeling, right? And so, for example, when I was talking this morning about acknowledging that it's okay to feel certain ways about everything right now, that is part of my commitment to trying to promote and think about mental health in a more meaningful way, right? And so it's not necessarily about being positive, it's not necessarily about being super negative all the time. It's about just being willing to accept and engage from where you are right now. Okay? So, this is one example that the principal and the vice principal think would be good as an activity to think about, right? So, make a list of what matters to you most and why. Again, um, there's no emphasis on necessarily being super positive or being negative about this. It is optional, okay? But this slide deck is linked in the classroom if you would like to do so, okay? This is not an assignment in the class per se, but I just wanted to share it with you, okay? So, yeah, a brochure is like a folded piece of paper that you unfurl, almost like a menu from a restaurant. You've seen one of those before? That would be more like it. But again, if you are struggling with getting it to be in that shape, if you just did like 3 pages on a Word document and said this is page 1, this is page 2, this is page 3, that works. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like 3 columns. Okay? Either way, I'm not an art teacher. Not a lot of marks on whether or not it is exactly a brochure. What's more important is the language and the content that's on it. Okay? Okay. So that's it for new information for me right now. Our Google Meet will be at 2 o'clock, where you'll come together for your afternoon attendance and so on. Please continue to do your best to get through what you can. I'm very proud of all of you. I'm glad to see so many of you here. Um, and overall, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. We're all available. If you type Mackenzie's name into Edsby, you should be able to send her a message. Obviously, Miss Larocque is around. You can click on the teacher names to find herself or Miss Burney. And I have pinned the link to the resource room in the classroom. But overall, just keep moving forward as best you can. All right? Reach out anytime. I will respond as quick as I can, depending on how my kid's school is going. And looking forward to seeing all the wonderful work that you submit this week. So that's it for now. I'll hang around for a minute or two in case there's a couple of more questions. But overall, I send you off into the world, and we'll touch base again at 2 o'clock in a Google Meet, which I will link in the classroom. Okay. I do want you to write the information on it, Dylan, but I will teach you exactly what it is on Wednesday. Okay. So if you filled out your chart already, like if it's all completely filled in, you can look at the page that says brochure. Okay. All right, Miss Larocque, you should sign off and get into that meet. Have a good beginning to your afternoon, everyone. And I hope everybody is feeling positive and okay. As best you can, anyway. And if you're not feeling positive right yet, that's okay too. Just keep moving forward. Looking forward to some great work as always from you this week, Jasmine. I'm sure you'll knock it out of the park. No pressure though. All right, seeing no more questions, I'm going to end the stream and I will see you at 2 o'clock.